Hi again, everybody. Thanks for coming back. Thanks for coming back so promptly. Well, kind of almost promptly. And we'd like to continue, and I think Natalie's going to introduce the next song.
So the title of this next song was a direct quote from an argument which Billie was having one afternoon with her mother. The argument was over money, and she actually used the line there in the row, God bless the child that's got his own. So the words are very meaningful to Billie and also meaningful to me. It's one of the first songs I learned as a jazz song. So we'd like to sing it and perform it for you. This is God Bless the Child. Them that's got shall get, them that's not shall lose. So the Bible says, and it still is news. Mama may have, Papa may have, but God bless the child that's got his own, that's got his own. Yes, the strong gets more, whilst the weak ones fade. Empty pockets don't ever make the grade. Mama may have, Papa may have, but God bless the child that's got his own, that's got his own. Monday, you got lots of friends crowding round the door. When you're gone and spending ends, they don't come no more. Rich relations give crusts of bread and such. You can help yourself, but don't take too much. Mama may have, Papa may have, but God bless the child that's got his own, that's got his own. Yes, God bless the child that's got his own, that's got his own. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Dave.
Billie married her first husband, James Monroe, a trombonist, in 1941. She was in her mid-20s. She picked up her new husband's habit of smoking opium. And she says this about a song that she wrote called Don't Explain. One of the songs that I wrote and recorded has my marriage to Jimmy Monroe written all over it. I guess I always knew what I was letting myself in for. One night he came home with lipstick on his collar. He started explaining. I could stand anything but that. I said, don't explain. The more I thought about it, it changed from an ugly scene into a sad song. It was recorded live in 1958 in the Jazz at the Plaza concert in New York with Duke Ellington, and it was a celebration of the Columbia record label's stable group of jazz singers. Let's hear this seminal version. You see her pictured here with Duke Ellington, and they're sharing a piece of paper which I believe to be the lyrics, because you will hear Billie, if you listen carefully, you will hear Billie say, all right, change the words, and I think that Duke Ellington is suggesting a little change of lyric there.
All right. Try anything once. Hush now, don't explain. I know you raise pain, but I'm glad you're back. Don't explain. Quiet, don't explain. You mixed with something. Skip that lipstick. Don't explain. You know that I love you, and what love endures. All my thoughts are of you, for I'm so completely yours. Cry to hear folks chatter, and I know you cheat, but right and wrong don't matter when you're with me, sweet. Hush now, don't explain. You're my joy and pain, my life's yours, love. Don't explain.
So another seminal Billie number. Billie signed with Decca Records in 1944, and the slide shows how much she loved the song Lover Man, and how she came across the song. She tells us that Jimmy Davis was in the army when he wrote Lover Man, and he brought it straight to me. I loved it and wanted to record it. Before I could do it, he was shipped off to Europe and I never saw him again. He's got to be dead, she said. I took the song to Milt Gabler, or Gabler, at Decca. I went on my knees to him. I love it so. People don't understand what a fight it takes to record what you want to record. I remind you of my earlier observations about the lyrics of some of the songs that she recorded. So, we'd like to do Lover Man. Why?
I don't know why, but I'm feeling so sad. I long to try something I've never had. never had no kissing. Ooh, what am I missing? Lover man, oh where can you be? The night is cold and I'm so all alone. I'd give my soul just to call you my own. Got the moon above me, but no one to love me. Lover man, oh where can you be? I've heard it said that the thrill of romance can be like a heavenly dream. I go to bed with a prayer that you'll make love to me, strange as it seems. Someday we'll meet and you'll dry all my tears and whisper sweet little things in my ears. Hugging and a kissing, ooh, what I've been missing. Lover man, oh, where can you be? I've heard it said that the thrill of romance can be like a heavenly dream. I go to bed with a prayer that you'll make love to me, strange as it seems. Someday we'll meet and you'll dry all my tears and whisper sweet little things in my ears. Hugging and a kissing, ooh, what I've been missing. Lover man, oh where can you be?
By 1947, her boyfriend at the time was a trumpeter by the name of Joe Guy, and with him she started to use heroin. She nevertheless appeared with Louis Armstrong in another film in 1947 entitled New Orleans. She played the stereotypical role of a maid, which so many black actors had to do at the time. She was arrested and convicted for narcotics possession in 1947. She was sentenced to 1 year and 1 day of jail time, and she was sent to a federal rehabilitation centre in West Virginia. Because of her conviction, she was unable to get a licence to play in cabarets and clubs. That's an enormous blow to a jazz performer in that period. For most people, it would mean that they couldn't work at all. Such was Billie's determination and her fame that she was nevertheless able to play. She was allowed to play in places where alcohol wasn't routinely served. So she was able to play Carnegie Hall immediately after she came out of the rehabilitation centre. We'd like to talk about a song that Billie made her own, and which we love to play. It's called All of Me. It was first sung on radio in 1931 by a vaudeville singer called Bella Baker. She'd just lost her husband, Ella Baker, and she broke down during the performance on the radio. But she managed to complete the song, and the song became a huge hit, in part because of that radio performance. It was then forgotten for some years, and Billie recorded the song in 1941. It was also recorded by Frank Sinatra. And she recorded it on 9 subsequent occasions. She recorded many of her biggest numbers several times because she liked them, so she recorded them. This song was a huge song in her repertoire for the whole of her career, and we just absolutely love to do it. So, with your permission, we're going to play another live number. Cool. As you probably guessed, it's called All of Me. Is it working? Is it warm?
If you get warmer.
Huh?
If you get warmer.
Are we okay?
Yeah.
All of me, why not take all of me? Can't you see I'm no good without you? Take my lips, I want to lose them. Take my arms, I'll never use them. And your goodbye left me with eyes that cry. How can I go on, dear, without you? You took the part that once was my heart, so why not take all of me? All of me, why not take all of me? Can't you see I'm no good without you? Take my lips, I want to lose them. Take my arms, I'll never use them. And your goodbye left me with eyes that cry. And How can I go on, dear, without you? You took the best, so why not take the rest? And baby, take all of me.
With the aforementioned Carnegie Hall concert in 1948, which she sold out immediately after being released from prison, she had resurrected her career, which was obviously devastated by a year in prison and by losing her license. She resurrected it in one go. She continued to tour and record successfully throughout the 1950s. She began recording for Norman Granz, another huge name in jazz. He owned a number of jazz record labels. 2 years later, she had a hugely successful tour of Europe, including England. And incidentally, she was completely amazed and greatly impressed by the British National Health Service, the fledgling British. She was completely had to get that in. She was completely bemused by it, hardly able to believe it. But she actually writes in a book, you mean to tell me that the state give people new legs if they lose one? Is that right? Is that what happens? Yes, Billie. Well, it was what happened. Okay, enough. Don't start me talking. All right. Her autobiography, Lady Singers of Blues, came out in 1956. It was produced to coincide with yet another Carnegie Hall concert, which again she sold out. Sadly, also in 1956, she was arrested for drugs possession along with Louis McKay, whom she married in Mexico the following year. She didn't do time for that. In 1958, she recorded an album called Lady in Satin. The album featured by now Billie's older voice, no doubt to some extent reflecting her hard living, but as always she sang with a great deal of emotional intensity, as always. Now some people prefer this later Billie Holiday of Lady in Satin, other people prefer, the earlier Billie Holiday. Some people, like me, just love it all. I guess it's a matter of taste. Billie's autobiography seethes with indignation, rage, and anger about the racism that she and her fellow musicians experienced. Here's just one small quote, and there are many that you could choose from. She's talking about New York, and it's important to remember that. She's not talking about the South or the West. Says, you can be up to your boobies in white satin with gardenias in your hair and no sugar cane for miles, but you can still be working on a plantation. We were not allowed to mingle in any way. As soon as we finished our stint, we had to scoot out to the back, to the alley, or go out and sit in the street. I mean, this is well, she wasn't yet an international performer. This is a hugely talented, nationally famous singer. So, we're going to talk about Strange Fruit now. It's not surprising that she embraced Strange Fruit and made it her own. It's no surprise at all. Strange Fruit was a poem written by Abel Meeropol, also known as Lewis Allen, a Jewish high school teacher. It's a bitter, bitter protest about a lynching, but of course it has a much, much wider anti-racist resonance than that. He set Strange Fruits to music himself, but Billie may have modified it in the process of developing it, since she's on record in her autobiography as a co-composer, as a co-writer. I find it interesting that when an improviser, just more generally, when an improviser improvises, they change the melody of a song, but rarely do they get credited as co-writers, even though in production, they actually change it around. So I'm sure that Billie had a hand in developing it and producing it. Abel Meeropol's wife, the black vocalist Laura Duncan, performed it in Madison Square Garden. The couple, the Rosenbergs, later adopted the sons of the Meeropols adopted the sons of Julius and Ethel Rosenberg. Now, the Rosenbergs were tried and convicted in what is widely believed in progressive circles to be a frame-up of espionage. They couldn't be tried for treason because the USA wasn't at war with the USSR, but they were tried for espionage, and they were put to death. And the Meeropols adopted the children. So I think it's clear where the Meeropols' political loyalties lay. Billie first performed the song much earlier than in the clip we're going to show you, in Cafe Society in Greenwich Village, which was in 1939. So again, she's in her mid-20s when she does this. Okay, it's important to remember that. Cafe Society was the first and only, for a while, integrated nightclub in New York. Even very famous venues that are often shown on jazz programs and stuff like that in Harlem, the Apollo, for instance, kind of almost a household name, was completely segregated. I mean, in other words, what this means is that extremely famous black performers could be on the stage, but on no account could they ever be in the audience. Such was the insanity of segregation at that time. Cafe Society started the career of many singers that are now, and jazz musicians that are now household names: Lena Horne, Sarah Vaughan, etc. Billie said that singing Strange Fruit made her fearful of retaliation. This didn't stop her from singing it. She nevertheless made the piece a regular part of her live performance. She called it her own personal protest about racism in the USA. Because of the nature of the song, she made certain rules about its performance. She would always close with it. The waiters would stop all service in advance. The room would be in darkness except for a spotlight on Billie's face. And there would be no encore. She would end the performance with it, and that would be it. Now, I'll request that these rules be observed tonight when we show you this clip. I know you're not going to expect service, I know you're not going to talk, but I think Zoe is going to oblige by turning down the lights. This performance of Billie's is late in her life. It was in 1958, and it's actually on British television. She flew to London to do it. It's very, very powerful.
Southern trees bear strange fruit, blood on the leaves and blood at the root. black bodies swinging in the southern breeze, strange fruit hanging from the poplar trees. Pastoral scene of the gallant South, the bulging eyes and the twisted mouth, scent of magnolia, sweet and fresh. Then the sudden smell of burning flesh. Here is a fruit for the crows to pluck, for the rain to gather, for the wind to suck, for the sun to rock, for the tree to drop. Here is a strange and bitter cry.
Very, very powerful indeed. This, as I said, was very, very late in Billie's life, recorded in March 1959. We now need to speak about the death of Billie. In early 1959, Billie found that she had liver disease and heart disease. And on May the 31st, just a few weeks after that performance really, she was taken to the Metropolitan Hospital in New York. She was arrested for drug possession as she lay dying. Quite what the point of that was exactly is less than clear. The hospital room was raided. Police officers were stationed at the door to her room. She remained under police guard at the hospital until she died on July the 17th of 1959. Tragically, she was aged only 44. She'd been cheated of her earnings. She had only 70 cents in the bank and $750 on her person that was a recent tabloid payment. I think we need to speak about Billie's legacy. Billie Holiday changed the face of popular music forever, really. It's impossible to imagine any subsequent singer in any genre, really, rock, blues, jazz, popular music of any shape or form, that doesn't owe her some debt. As I said, she recorded some 250 sides. She was awarded 4 posthumous Grammys. In 1973, she was inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame. She was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, really a bit disgracefully late, in 2000. She was introduced by Diana Ross, who of course had famously played her in the movie The Lady Sings the Blues. As the renowned civil rights activist and leader, and now university professor Angela Davis said, she said this: "By disrupting the landscape of material she had performed prior to incorporating Strange Fruit in her repertoire. She reaffirmed among her musical colleagues the importance of employing their medium in the quest for social justice, thus perpetuating its musical voice, the musical voice of social justice. At the same time, Billie Holiday was following in the footsteps of a host of black artists, including Ma Rainey and Bessie Smith, who incorporated into their music their own brand of critical social consciousness. In short, she led by example. She was one of the founders of protest music within American music and American song, American popular song. She was a role model for subsequent generations of artists. Today, anybody at all who approaches jazz, blues or popular music is in her debt, whether consciously or unconsciously, whether they know it or not, they just simply are. It's not possible not to be. She was a woman of immense courage and spirit. She was not simply a victim, and this is because she fought back, and she was extremely, extremely brave. If you'd like a bibliography of this presentation, it runs to 5 pages, so I couldn't bring it with me or couldn't bring 100 copies with me. If you pick up a card on your way out, our card, and you email me if you want a bibliography, then I'll send it to you. I'd just like to say thank you very much to you for being here, and thanks to the American Museum for hosting this event. And could you please give a very big hand to my wonderful partners, the wonderful Natalie Davis.
I just want to say thank you to Dave Merrick. He's put all this together, so thank you, Dave.
Thanks so much for being here. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks very much indeed. Thanks very much. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed putting it together. Thanks a million. Cheers.